So everybody, thank you for stopping in tonight and spending just a few minutes of your Tuesday evening with me. So we've got Shaun Porter here. I don't know if you guys have seen his channel. If you guys have not seen his channel and you've seen mine, you're doing YouTube wrong, and you need to stop and you need to find Shaun Porter's channel and you need to subscribe. So recently we've had a pretty big event take place here in the First Amendment auditing community that really affected somebody who's been in this community for a long time. So I'm going to let Shaun tell you guys about it and make sure that you guys all get to hear what's been going on. So, Shaun, if you don't mind filling us in a
All
little
right.
bit.
Well, basically, I met this person online named Lion One, Andrea, in 2020. She was my first fan. She liked all my videos. She commented on all of them. She shared my stuff.
Right?
Very nice lady. Ron Headland, a guy out of Virginia, was doing a bunch of protesting and stuff like I do. And we would team up. And he ended up getting this guy that showed up in a rabbit suit named William Barthel from Delaware.
Okay.
And William Barthel kind of would come around and do stuff with us. And he was kind of fun to hang out with sometimes. And sometimes he had anger issues for no reason and would like pick fights with cops for absolutely no reason and just ruin our videos, basically. Mouthing off when he shouldn't be and just being he was extremely overly aggressive at times. Other times he was cool. He ended up hooking up with a lion in like 2023. That's Andrea.
Mhm.
And she went to South Carolina to hang out with them and then brought him back to North Carolina, where he moved in and started utilizing all of her money, her house, got her dad to buy him a truck, basically mooched. And when this storm came through in North Carolina, that hurricane, it affected their area. And a bunch of weirdos came into their area of North Carolina to take advantage of the free money. So one of these weirdos is a guy named Donald Carney, a convicted methamphetamine trafficker, and his wife, Shelby. And they were these fake church people that would go around asking for charitable donations to give to themselves and saying that they were a rescue ministry, but they were really just rescuing themselves. So Billy hooked up with them, and it looks like, from all accounts, Billy got hooked on meth, lost about 100 pounds, and in that time, he married Andrea. And 3 months later, Andrea blew her brains out, he would have us to believe. Now, if you move back about a week before this happened, he told one of the neighbors that Andrea didn't have much time left to live because she had a bunch of autoimmune disorders. Well, she wasn't ever that bad off. Billy was telling people this before she died.
And I personally know somebody with an autoimmune disorder, and I know what it actually does and how they can be treated. So I'm sorry to interrupt. Please go ahead. But I know that that's kind of fishy.
Yeah, so he started telling people crazy stuff. And so Andrea, that guy, that meth trafficker, and his wife moved in. And apparently she found a drug straw after she threw them out 6 days before her death. And she was cussing at him and told him to get the fuck out and all that. And Billy spent all his time with this guy and would spend up to a week away from home on the road, allegedly trimming trees. But in reality, he was apparently robbing a bunch of the shelter camps for the people who were displaced by Hurricane Helene. At least that's what everybody's telling me. And so she kicks this guy, Carney, and his wife, Shelby, out. And they're basically like fake e-beggars. They go online and they ask for money all the time. So she kicks them out. Yeah, it's bullshit. They're rescuing themselves. And long story short, she calls me 2 days before she ends up dying, saying that the rabbit's been cheating the whole time. The 3 months of marriage, which we didn't even know they were married until like 2 weeks before the death. It was very, very odd and suspicious. No prenup. Right. She said that he was cheating the whole time. He was on FetLife and Tinder and stuff. And so what ended up happening is that she hid his gun, wrapped it up. It was her gun, but they only had one, and hid it in the house because she was afraid of him. She told her best friend at 3:23 p.m. on Friday, I believe it was the 29th of May, that She was kicking him out. She was coming to Ohio to live with her friend, and the family was going to sell the house that they lived in because it was in a trust. Right. And she was going to kick Rabbit to the curb. And then about an hour and a half later, she was dead. He claims that he came home and he did CPR on her and all this stuff, and the paramedics had to pull her off and all this, or pull him off of her, and he kept doing CPR, and she was still there in a pulse. And then he told other people she was cold, and he just called 911. But it seems like she was dead. He took a shower. He shaved his beard he's been growing for years, and all the hair off his head, took a shower, and waited 45 minutes, and then called the police. The gun that was used to shoot her in the head was not the gun that she had hidden from Billy. It was a whole nother gun. No one knows where it came from. So long story short, there's an open murder investigation into this guy, and he's running around out there trying to raise money off her death, and he's actually holding her ashes hostage and extorting the family for the ashes because they didn't send any help or come down because the police said, Billy clearly murdered her. They didn't come down. They didn't help. They didn't talk to Billy. They cut off all communication. He refused to allow any of the ashes to go home with her family to Ohio. So that right there is the worst, most disrespectful thing you could do.
That's a whole other level, man, of dirty thing to do,
Malice.
See, where I come from, man, I spent most of my 20s and 30s in prison. And where I come from, that would get a motherfucker's ass beat,
Well, it's going to go into the sentencing aspect here because it looks like it's premeditated. He got a gun from somewhere else that no one knew was there. And then he shaved off all his hair follicles because of gunshot residue testing and took a shower. And she is a woman. Women don't blow their heads off with a handgun.
Women,
they do sleeping pills.
Method of suicide,
Yeah.
That's, I mean, maybe in 0.0001% of cases, but then why is she telling people she's leaving, and that she'll be back, or she'll be back home to Ohio with her friend, why is she telling people that and hiding the gun if she had planned to use the gun to kill herself? Why wouldn't she just got the one that she hid? You know what I mean?
Yep. And the police found the gun that she hid. They verified all those stories. And this guy, he literally had a party in her honor 6 days after she died. And he was laughing and talking about government corruption and all this stuff. And he was clearly he looked like he was on stimulants. He's all fidgety and shaky and moving all around and very energetic.
You're talking about the guy who goes by Benghazi Rabbit, right?
Yeah, okay. That guy. Yep. So the Benghazi Rabbit YouTube channel is... he tried to make it look like he was mourning her, but 2 days after her death, they were making jokes about cleaning the blood off the dogs and talking about cleaning up the crime scene at a pizza place and laughing and posting pictures on Facebook of himself laughing with his friends 48 hours after his wife allegedly committed suicide. Clearly, that's not the way it goes. And the people in the pizza place were so freaked out and disturbed. They even thought it was obvious that this guy killed her.
Wow. And so he's just running around out there now, still free. They haven't locked him up yet.
I've been involved in one murder investigation recently. My old neighbor, Shaun Hall, was murdered. And we were wondering why the hell they didn't arrest the guy. Well, it takes a long time to get all their ducks in a row. It took 5 weeks.
They want to make sure that when they've got him. You know what I'm saying? There's no wiggle room. All the evidence is great. All the statements are great. The cameras, the phone records. They want to have it 1, 2, 3. Welcome to prison, motherfucker. And that's how they should do it. When it's something serious.
Yeah. So he's running around right now trying to beg people for money, and I'm just making sure that everyone in the community that he may turn to knows not to help this guy out and to ignore him until the police arrest him.
You guys haven't heard it yet. You just heard it here. If this guy comes to you asking for help, laugh at his face. Tell him the number to call for help is 911. And when he admits what he did, they'll help him out just fine.
Well, I actually talked to his father yesterday for about an hour, and I sent all the screenshots from text messages Andrea sent the day before she died. talking about, getting rid of Billy and Billy needs help and all this other stuff. And yeah, I told him, I said, you need to convince your son to come forward and confess, because if he does not, and they have to do their due diligence and get him, he will get the electric chair, because in North Carolina, it's a death penalty state.
And that premeditation with all of the shaving and then running around for weeks and laughing about it and joking with your meth head friends. Like, I've been in front of a judge or two, and they don't look really kindly at that kind of thing.
Well, it's funny because he's threatened me. He's threatened her best friend, telling her she needs to watch her back. And so he's threatening witnesses to a murder, right? Basically. Not that we witnessed it, but witnesses to the events leading up to it, and conversations we had with her beforehand to explain her state of mind was not that of someone about to kill
regardless
herself.
Of whether you were witnesses to the murder, you guys will probably be called as witnesses in a murder trial, and that you can't go fucking harassing witnesses who may be called in the murder trial. That's also a big no. Judges really don't like that shit.
Yeah, I would say so. But long story short, everybody has cut him off, and he's gone kind of quiet like the last 3 days. So we're hoping he's just, going away until the cops do their job and we don't have to deal with him. But it was really irritating to see him on Facebook begging for money for her, talking about how she's in a better place and she's finally home. I mean, the dude is a sick motherfucker. I'll leave it at that.
Man, I appreciate you coming on here and you letting everybody know. I don't have a huge following, but the people that do follow me, like most of them are kind of cop watchers or auditors in their own right. Because I'm not really an auditor or cop watcher. I kind of do shit behind the scenes with these guys. And so I hope that everybody out there that watches my shit that happens to have a channel of your own, guys, if you guys can help spread this message and help put this word out there, that some people that claim to be a part of this community are just trash. And when they do really bad shit, guys, we can't circle around and defend them. It's not the right way to go.
Yeah, this guy's a piece of shit, man. He killed Andrea. Was super nice. She helped everybody, and that is why she is dead today. Is because she was too nice. She was naive. She was gullible, and this is what happens when you're naive, stupid, and gullible. You talked about her being one of the first people that watched your channel, man. Like when I first started mine, she was here, like commenting and cheering me on and being like, "Man, that's amazing what you're doing. Keep it up. Thank you." And like encouragement all the time, always in my comments. And it was one of the I really remember because it wasn't like every other video, or it was like every video, every single one. She said something. She always had something great to say and always positive. And it's just trash to see something bad happen to somebody like that. No, I hear you.
Well, man, I appreciate it. I hope you have a great night, and I hope Rabbit has the night he fucking deserves. I hope.
Well, he's still alive, and that's not what he deserves. He deserves the death penalty.
But I'll tell you what, knowing that it's coming, right? Because he's got to be stupid. He's got to be stupid not to know, bro. Knowing that it's coming, shaking in your pants, that fear, that knowing that they're coming for you, and when they come for you, they're gonna do something. They're gonna do something really bad. Like that's gonna suffer. He's gonna suffer a little bit.
The meth trafficker, Donald Carney, the convicted meth trafficker, Donald Carney, and his wife, Shelby, fled to Virginia. They're now camping in Virginia as we speak. So they probably have an idea that they need to leave town.
I'd bet so. I'm surprised. And Rabbit's been quiet for a couple of days, you said? And so nobody really knows his whereabouts,
about 3 days. Right? We're watching his social media and screenshotting everything he posts. He's posted some crazy shit. He's posted basically veiled threats. He's posted memes to try to guilt people who were talking about him. That's not going to work. He killed someone that we liked better than him. I mean, let's put it in really plain, simple terms. She was a nice, kind soul. He was problematic. He was funny sometimes. Sometimes he did cool stuff, but then a lot of times he was just a rude psychopath, and just kind of being an asshole for no reason. I mean, I remember. I think one of the last times I went out with him, he flipped out on a cop for no reason and like started like saying, and don't eat the yellow snow and look both ways before crossing. And like the cop wasn't doing shit. He was just like, we're here because of a call. And then like he just went ballistic. And it was uncalled for. And I had to edit the video because, you know, he was in a rabbit suit. He was not supposed to even be talking. Right. He's this giant rabbit that just moves his head around and stuff, you know, and instead he's screaming at cops through, you know, a rabbit head. It was weird. So,
and, give me 1 second, and I'm going to pull this up here. We've had a few people in here watching for a little bit. I appreciate everybody stopping in. Sam Joaquin, Valley Transparency, Brandon Mitchell, Frank Pants, Pink Taco. Man, we got all kind of people in here tonight, and I appreciate everyone stopping in. Roadhog, Broken System. If you guys have not heard the story yet, there's a bit more about it out there. I'm sure if you go to Shaun's channel, you'll find a bit more about it there. And if you guys don't know Shaun Porter and you're watching my channel, like I said at the beginning of this video, you are definitely doing YouTube wrong. And you need to stop this fucking video and watching this shit and just go find this man over here and follow his channel. So I hope you guys all have a good night. You, Shaun, I hope you have a good night. I'm going to get back to this 3D model I'm working on. And I'm going to let you get back to doing all of the really funny shit that I watch you do all the time.
I'm only, just for the record, I'm only really on TikTok on Shaun Porter News, SHAUN Porter News on TikTok. I got 3 strikes in a row right during the election in November, and they took my channel down, and it was total BS, and there was no argument. It was totally on purpose, and I hadn't violated any of the community guidelines.
Right. Well, I will definitely come follow you on TikTok, bro. I didn't know you were on there, but now that I do, I'll come follow you tonight, man. And you guys heard it.
Appreciate it.
Go over there to TikTok and follow Shaun Porter, guys. You all have a good night. We're out of here.
All right. Take care, sir.